Even the Buddha sat beneath that tree with a mind full of noise, fear, longing, regret. He didn't silence it. He simply watched it pass. Have you ever thought, maybe I should try meditating? You put down your phone, you close your eyes, and within moments, your mind is already somewhere else. Tomorrow's meeting, what to make for dinner, that one thing you forgot to say to someone. I can't even do this right, you think, and quietly, you reach for your phone again. Does that sound familiar? Meditation carries this image, something reserved for a certain kind of person. A monk, sitting motionless in the mountains for hours, a yoga teacher who seems to have transcended ordinary life, someone who has learned, somehow, to think nothing at all. Maybe you've told yourself, that's just not me. I can't turn my brain off like that. I want to share something with you today. Meditation is not about becoming perfectly still, and the answer to what it actually is, it goes all the way back to one night, 2,500 years ago, when a man sat alone beneath a tree. What happened that night, and what does it have to do with your life right now? Let's find out together. The man who sat beneath that tree, he wasn't serene when he began. He was 35 years old, worn from years of wandering, and he had already tried everything. The palace, the forest, the fasting so severe his spine could be felt to his stomach. Nothing had worked, and yet he sat down anyway. That is where we begin, not in stillness, but in the middle of a very ordinary kind of desperation. It's India. About 2,500 years ago, there was a young man born into a wealthy royal family, a man named Siddhartha Gautama. He had everything: comfort, safety, a life carefully shielded from hardship. But one day, he ventured beyond the palace walls, and what he saw shook him to his core. An elderly man, bent with age, a person ravaged by illness, someone being carried away in death. Why do people suffer? He asked, and is there any way to be free from it? Carrying that question, at the age of 29, he left his family and set out alone. For years, he sought out teachers. He tried extreme fasting, pushing his body so far past its limits that he was said to be little more than bone and skin. Still, no answer came. One day, nearly collapsing by a river, a young village woman offered him a bowl of rice porridge. He received it gently, he ate, and in that moment something became clear to him. Suffering more doesn't bring you closer to truth. He made his way to a place in India that would later be known as Bodh Gaya. There stood a great fig tree, later called the Bodhi tree, the tree of awakening. Siddhartha sat down at its roots. He folded some grass beneath him, crossed his legs and closed his eyes, and quietly he made a vow: I will not leave this place until I understand. The night deepened around him. Thoughts rose and fell inside him like waves. Visions of desire, shadows of fear, echoes of the past, dread of what was to come. The old stories say they came crashing in one after another, but he didn't run, he didn't fight, he simply sat, he simply breathed, he simply watched what was there. And as dawn broke, and the morning star appeared in the sky, something shifted in him, completely, irreversibly. From that moment on, Siddhartha Gautama was called the Buddha, the awakened one. He didn't return from that tree with gold, or power, or a promise that the world would stop hurting. He returned with something quieter, an understanding, hard-won in the dark, that the very struggles we spend our lives running from can be faced and seen through. That first bowl of rice porridge, offered by a stranger's hands, had already pointed the way. Sometimes grace arrives not as an escape from our suffering, but as the simplest act of being nourished enough to continue. So what can we take from this story? Let me ask you one thing first. That night beneath the Bodhi tree, do you think the Buddha's mind was empty? Pause. It wasn't. The old stories tell us that visions of craving arose, waves of fear pressed in, thoughts came rushing through him one after another. Even the Buddha, sitting in that sacred place, had a mind full of noise. This is the part that matters most. Meditation is not about thinking nothing. In Buddhist teaching, there's a concept sometimes translated as calm and clear seeing, stilling the mind enough to watch it honestly, not erasing your thoughts, not wrestling them into silence, just watching them flow through. Pause. Imagine a river. If you step into it and try to stop the current with your body, you'll exhaust yourself and end up soaked. But if you sit on the bank and simply watch, the water moves on by itself. Meditation is the riverbank. You're not trying to stop what arises. You're just watching it pass. Oh, there's a thought. That's all. That's what the Buddha was doing beneath that tree. When fear came, he didn't fight it. When craving appeared, he didn't chase it. He saw it for what it was and let it move through. Pause. There's another idea at the heart of Buddhist practice: the present moment. Not the past you're replaying, not the future you're dreading. Just this, right now. So much of our suffering lives in one of those two places. We're grieving something that's already gone, or we're afraid of something that hasn't arrived. Meditation is the practice of coming back. Back to here, back to now. You are breathing. Air is coming in, air is going out. That is real. That is now. Pause. After his awakening, the Buddha spent decades sharing what he had found, but at the root of everything he taught was that single night beneath the tree. No special powers were required. Just sitting, just feeling the breath. So how do we bring this into a modern life, your life, right now? First, I want to say this: 1 minute is enough. One of the most common ways people give up before they start is believing they need to sit for 20 or 30 minutes. But when the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, he didn't plan out a schedule. He simply sat. He simply began. Tonight, before you sleep, try just 1 minute. Here's all you need to do. Sit somewhere comfortable, a chair, the floor, wherever feels right. Let your spine be gently upright, not rigid. Rest your hands on your knees. You can close your eyes fully or leave them softly open. It doesn't matter. Now breathe in through your nose, slowly. Feel the air coming in. Notice your belly rise, just slightly. Then breathe out, slowly through your nose. Let it go. That's it. That's the whole thing. When "what about that meeting tomorrow" floats through your mind, that's fine. When you catch yourself planning dinner, that's fine too. Each time you simply notice, "Oh, I was thinking," and then gently you come back to the breath. Notice, return. Notice, return. That act of noticing, that itself is the meditation. You can do this at a desk when the afternoon wears you down. If you're a parent and your child is napping, those few quiet minutes are yours. Even on a crowded commute, you can put the phone away, look out the window, and just feel yourself breathe. Over time, something quietly shifts. When you feel yourself starting to react, anger, anxiety, frustration, there's a small pause that wasn't there before. Just a moment of, "Oh, I'm feeling this right now." And in that moment, you have a choice you didn't used to have. The waves still come, but you're sitting on the bank. You don't need to do this perfectly. The moment you notice you've drifted, that's not failure. That's the practice working. Before we part today, I want to leave you with just one thing. After the Buddha awakened beneath the Bodhi tree, he is said to have offered these words: "Awakening is possible for anyone." Meditation doesn't belong to a special kind of person. You don't need a quiet mountain. You don't need to empty your mind completely. You just need tonight, a few moments, eyes closed, listening to your own breath. Breathe in, breathe out. That single breath will bring you home to right now. Please be gentle with yourself. If some nights don't feel like they work, that's okay. Tomorrow you sit again. That's all there is to it. Thank you truly for spending this time here with me. I hope that tonight you find a little more ease, a little more quiet. I hope you sleep well. There is a story of a woman who came to the Buddha, carrying unbearable grief, begging him to restore what she had lost. He sent her from door to door across the village, not to find a cure, but to find a single home untouched by sorrow. She found none, and in that searching something in her softened. She had not been given an answer,